Close your eyes for a moment and forget the world around you. Forget the numbers, the odds, the tickets, for none of these matter. You are not here to win the lottery by chance. You are here to win it by law, the unseen law that governs all things, the law of assumption. The secret is simple, but the mind, conditioned by effort and struggle, rejects the simplicity of truth. So I will tell you plainly, you must become the winner before the number is drawn. You do not wait for the call. You hear it now. You do not hope to see your name. You see it now, on the check, in the newspaper, on the screen. You must imagine the joy in your bones, the shaking hands, the disbelief turned into laughter, the tears of relief, the embrace of someone who never stopped believing in you. And you must do this not once, but as often as you breathe. Every morning before the world tells you what's possible, you decide. Every night before you sleep, you rehearse. You rehearse the victory. You rehearse the moment your life changed. Until your mind no longer asks if, but only when. And then you let go. You do not chase it. You do not beg for it. You do not watch the results with trembling fingers. You walk forward in quiet certainty, knowing the result is already yours. And while others scoff, while others speak of chance and randomness, you remain silent, because you know what they do not, that your reality bends not to odds, but to inner conviction. The world responds to the image you hold inside. When that image is strong enough, when it's realer than what you see outside, the world must conform. So what do you do now? You close your eyes. You see it. You feel it. You believe it. And then you wait, not in fear, but in quiet power. Imagination is the real ticket to winning the lottery, not the paper slip you hold in your hand, not the machine that draws the numbers, and certainly not the statistics the world clings to. Before anything is seen in the outer world, it must first be conceived and felt in the inner world. The true lottery is not a game of numbers. It is a game of consciousness, and your imagination is the silent, powerful force that determines whether you are simply a player or the winner. To win the lottery, you must first win it in your mind. Not casually, not like a wish tossed into the wind, but as a lived, repeated, and deeply felt reality. Your mind must become the theater, the ticket booth, the announcement stage, and the bank vault. All of it must live within you first. Every time you imagine, you are laying the groundwork for your world. This is not fantasy, this is law. You do not imagine for escape, you imagine to create. The moment you close your eyes and see that winning ticket in your hand, feel the texture of it, hear your name being called, sense your heart racing, and allow your body to tremble with joy. In that moment, something shifts. A seed is planted. The world may scoff at such an idea. It will say no one can think their way into millions. But that's only because the world believes more in appearances than in truth. What you must understand is that imagination is not idle. It is divine. It is the force by which all things come into being, and it does not ask permission from the logical mind, nor does it rely on probability. It operates in certainty. What you consistently see and feel in your inner world must eventually appear in your outer one, not by chance, but by law. So you must become intimate with the vision of your success. You must rehearse it not in desperation, but in delight. Play the scene in your mind again and again. Your numbers being read aloud, the stunned silence before the eruption of joy, the moment you realize nothing will ever be the same. Feel the warmth of that moment in your chest. Let the tears of relief well up. Allow the smile that you've been holding back to break free. That scene, repeated often and with sincerity, becomes the new pattern your subconscious accepts as truth. And once accepted, it begins to move everything around you to match it. You may not see the inner workings, you may not understand the connections or the timing, but trust that it is unfolding exactly as it must. The vision is the cause, the result is merely the effect. This is not effort, this is not trying hard. This is surrendering fully to what already exists in the unseen. There is nothing to chase. There is only something to become. And the moment you truly become it in your imagination, the world outside will follow. Imagination is the real ticket. And you already hold it. To assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled is to step into the identity of the one who already has what they desire. It is not pretending. It is not hoping. It is not wishing. It is becoming. In the quiet sanctuary of your mind, you must feel as though the event you seek has already occurred. The moment you assume the emotional state of having won, you summon the power that creates worlds into motion on your behalf. The feeling is the key, the creative act that precedes all visible reality. You can protocolize, but defend and defend and defend the creation. When a person wins the lottery in the physical world, their thoughts shift instantly, their posture changes, their energy radiates differently. There is no effort in their belief. It simply is. You must live in that state before the numbers are ever drawn. You must walk, speak, and breathe as the one who already possesses the fortune. This assumption is not just a mental exercise, it is an embodiment. It is allowing your inner world to dictate your outer one rather than the reverse. Everything you truly believe to be yours will move toward you because you are no longer looking for it. You are looking from it. And this is the great secret. To assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled is to stop reaching and start receiving. It is to drop the notion of lack and pick up the awareness of abundance. You stop needing, you start knowing. In this state, there is no anxiety, no impatience, no question. You are no longer begging the universe. You are walking as its chosen one. You aren't checking for signs or wondering when it will happen. You are living in the moment after the miracle. You speak from that place. You make decisions from that place. You align your energy with the version of yourself who already received the blessing. Your senses may say otherwise. The bank account may still reflect yesterday's balance, but the world of senses is slow to catch up. Reality does not lead your inner state. It follows it. What you feel deeply and consistently becomes the blueprint for your physical world. The feeling creates the fact, not thought alone, not words alone, but feeling, the rich, vivid, undeniable experience within. And so you must create that feeling deliberately. Begin with a scene that implies the wish is fulfilled. It need not be grand. Perhaps it's the feeling of handing your mother a gift she never thought she'd receive. Perhaps it's the call you make to a loved one, telling them, "We did it." Perhaps it's the silence, the stillness, the breath you exhale, knowing everything is changed. Whatever it is, enter it with your full self. Let it wash over you. Let it become more real than the world outside. Practice it until it no longer feels like imagination, but memory. Because once it feels natural, once you are no longer trying to convince yourself, you have succeeded. The lottery is not just a prize. It is a state of being. And states are chosen. When you assume the state of wealth without doubt or strain, life reconfigures itself to mirror that state. Circumstances bend, opportunities appear, numbers align, not by accident, but by command. This is the truth most overlooked. They chase without transforming, they ask without feeling. But you know now, the inner act is the real act. And when you feel as though it is already done, it becomes impossible for it not to be. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Not tomorrow, not next week. Now. And watch how the unseen responds to your certainty. Detach from the how, for that is not your domain. Your only task is to see and feel the end, clearly, consistently, and completely. The method by which it arrives is not yours to dictate, nor is it necessary to understand. The moment you become obsessed with the how, you step out of the state of the wish fulfilled and into the state of doubt and delay. You begin to measure, analyze, and worry, and in doing so, you affirm its absence instead of its presence. The greatest illusion of control is the need to figure it all out. That you are not the orchestrator of events. You are the dreamer. And the dreamer must stay focused on the dream. When you plant a seed in the soil, you do not dig it up daily to check on its progress. You trust the unseen processes beneath the surface. You water, you wait, and you allow. So too must you treat your desires. The how belongs to the unseen intelligence that responds to your inner state. It moves in ways you cannot anticipate. It rearranges people, situations, and timing with a precision beyond human comprehension. And it does so with ease, but only when you step back and allow it to operate freely. By fixating on the how, you choke the flow of manifestation. You declare with your focus, I don't trust this to unfold unless I understand every step, and that very declaration delays the result. You cannot stand in the state of the wish fulfilled and worry about how it will come. The two are incompatible. If it is done, then it is done. And if it is done, you are not concerned with the path, only the arrival. The power lies in occupying the end, in living as though it has already been received. Imagine the person who has already won the lottery. Do they question how it happened? Do they sit and break down the statistical sequence or the logic of it? No. They feel relief, joy, gratitude. Their mind no longer dwells on how, it celebrates the reality. And so must you. Your imagination is not a place for planning, it is a place for creation. When you dwell in the feeling that it is already yours, you invite the invisible mechanisms of reality to do their work. You open the door to synchronicity, to divine timing, to effortless alignment, and all of it comes not because you forced it, but because you trusted it. Let go of timelines, let go of strategies, let go of the belief that you must be the architect of every detail. You are the author of the end, and the end will take care of the means. The moment you truly accept this, peace enters. You no longer wake up wondering when or how. You walk in confidence because you know that the seed has been planted and harvest is inevitable. This is not about passivity. It is about surrender. Surrender is not weakness, it is the highest form of strength. It is declaring, I have done my part, and now I rest in the assurance that what is mine is making its way to me. That kind of rest is power. That kind of faith is magnetic. Detach from the how. Release your grip on the process. Your certainty in the outcome is what matters. Your clarity, your imagination, your emotional alignment, that is the real work. Everything else is secondary. When you let go of the how, you invite miracles. You allow the impossible. You free yourself from limitation. And most importantly, you live in the truth. That what you desire already exists, and the path to it is unfolding perfectly, silently, and without your interference. Repetition imprints reality. This is not merely a phrase, it is a law of mind. Whatever image you consistently return to, whatever feeling you habitually embrace, becomes the dominant tone of your being. And what becomes dominant within must express itself without. The scene you hold most often in your imagination will form the foundation of your experience. So if you truly wish to win the lottery, you must make the scene of your victory the most familiar and natural thing in your inner world. One vivid scene, repeated until it becomes second nature, is more powerful than 1,000 scattered thoughts. It is not about how many affirmations you say or how long you visualize. It is about how deeply and consistently you dwell in the feeling that it is done. Repetition is what persuades your subconscious mind that this is your truth now, and once accepted, your subconscious will do whatever is necessary to fulfill it. Your inner world cannot hold opposing states indefinitely. One will become dominant. Either you feed the vision of winning until it becomes effortless to believe, or you allow doubt to dominate and keep you tied to your current circumstances. The choice is always yours. But understand this, your outer world is nothing but a mirror reflecting the sum total of your inner assumptions. Repetition is not meant to be a chore, it is meant to be a joy. Think of the way you naturally return to daydreams that excite you, how you revisit conversations, replay victories, and imagine ideal outcomes. You already know how to repeat a scene. You've been doing it your whole life. The only difference now is intentionality. Now you choose the scene you wish to make real. Imagine the moment you discover your numbers have won. Picture the joy, the disbelief, the sudden realization that your life is forever changed. See it, hear it, feel it, then do it again and again. Let it become so familiar that it no longer feels like fantasy, it feels like memory. That is when the subconscious begins to accept it as your new identity. The world will try to convince you that nothing has changed. The numbers won't shift, the money won't arrive overnight, and yet, within you, a deeper truth is being etched into place. The more you repeat the vision, the more it becomes who you are. And who you are always finds its way into your outer world. You don't have to strain, you don't have to force. You simply have to return again and again to the same inner scene with the same feeling. Repetition is not about working harder, it is about working more faithfully. Every time you enter the scene of your fulfilled desire, you are leaving behind the old version of yourself and stepping into the new. It is a silent transformation, but it is unstoppable. Repetition carves a groove in the mind, and your life follows that groove. You become what you consistently feel yourself to be, not by chance, but by design. So repeat your scene, not as a test, not as a trick, but as a declaration of truth. Keep returning to it until it returns to you. The scene you revisit the most becomes your home. Let that home be wealth, joy, and victory. Let that scene be your truth. And let repetition do what it always does. Make it real. Gratitude before manifestation is not a performance. It is a powerful declaration of faith. It is saying to the unseen, I know this is already mine. It is the invisible handshake with the reality you have claimed. When you express deep and genuine gratitude for something that has not yet appeared in the physical world, you confirm your belief in the unseen and align yourself with the version of you who already has it. It's not something you reserve for after the manifestation. That is common. That is reaction. But you are not here to react. You are here to create. And the creator does not wait to see it before they believe it. They believe it and then they see it. Gratitude is your bridge. It is how you dwell in the end before it comes. It is how you hold the feeling of the wish fulfilled and live as if it is done. The moment you say thank you and feel the fullness of that thanks, you step out of waiting and into receiving. Waiting implies doubt. Gratitude implies trust. You cannot be deeply grateful for something you don't believe is coming. So when you feel thankful now for what has not yet arrived, you are telling your subconscious that it has arrived. And your subconscious will move heaven and earth to make it so. You do not wait for the lottery numbers to be drawn before you feel grateful. You do not wait for the bank account to update before you feel abundance. You go within and you feel the gratitude now, because within is the only place manifestation begins. You close your eyes and see the scene of your win. Your heart races, your breath catches, and you whisper thank you. Not to anyone in particular, not as a plea or a bargain, but because you already feel the joy of it. Gratitude changes your vibration. It lifts you from the state of wanting into the state of having. It takes you from longing to living. In that elevated state, you no longer repel your desire with fear or disbelief. You welcome it. Gratitude unlocks the door and keeps it open. It tells the universe that you are ready, that you trust, that you are aligned. Gratitude softens the noise of impatience. When you are truly grateful, you are not checking the clock. You are not asking, where is it? You are too busy living in the beauty of the moment to worry about its arrival. That state of ease is magnetic. It draws your desire to you like a current pulling the tide. And it is not about pretending. You do not fake gratitude. You find something real to feel it for, and then you expand that feeling. Maybe you're grateful for the way the vision makes you feel, for the possibility that it reveals, for the peace that comes when you know that everything is working in your favor. You let that feeling grow until it fills the space of your mind, and then you tie it to your desire, until the win and the thanks are inseparable. Practice this often. Before you sleep, say thank you. When you wake, say thank you. When doubt arises, say thank you. Let that be your answer to all things. It will anchor you in the truth of what's to come. It will remind you that your manifestation is not a question, it is a certainty. Attitude. Before manifestation is the posture of the fulfilled. It is the state of the master creator. And when you remain in that state, the physical must follow. not because you chased it, but because you welcomed it with open arms and a grateful heart. Say thank you, not because it's polite, but because it's done. Feel it, know it, and let that feeling carry you until the manifestation arrives. And when it does, it will feel like returning home to a place you never truly left. Silence is not emptiness, it is creation in its purest form. In silence, the seed of your desire takes root, safe from the winds of doubt, untouched by the opinions of others. When you hold your vision in sacred secrecy, you are not withholding. It is not fear that keeps you silent, but power. You are nurturing something unseen, something delicate and divine, and the world outside cannot yet understand the magnitude of what is forming within. To speak of your desire too soon is to expose it to minds that may not believe, hearts that may not feel as you do. And in their disbelief, even if unspoken, there is a current that can shake your own certainty. Not because they hold power over you, but because your creation is still tender. A sprout needs time beneath the soil before it can face the sky. You are not hiding your vision, you are honoring it. You are choosing to protect its purity until it is strong enough to stand. You do not need to explain, justify, or convince anyone. That is not your task. Your only responsibility is to dwell within the feeling of the wish fulfilled, to remain in that state regardless of appearance. And in doing so, you guard your inner world from interference. The silence is where the alchemy happens. It is where your imagination weaves reality. It is where the impossible becomes possible. And no one but you needs to witness it. The power is not in what you tell others. The power is in what you tell yourself when no one is watching. And the more sacredly you treat your desire, the more deeply it takes root. Every time you resist the urge to speak of your desire, you strengthen your inner world. You affirm that you do not need validation. You do not need agreement. You are not waiting for the world to believe in your vision. You already do. And that belief, kept pure and undisturbed, is what brings it to life. It is tempting to speak, especially when the vision is exciting, when it feels real, when you want others to see what you see. But remember, most people cannot see beyond their senses. They believe in what is, not in what could be. And so their words, even if well-meaning, can carry doubt. Doubt is subtle. It does not always come as opposition. It comes as concern, as logic, as realism. But none of these belong in the realm of the unseen. None of them help the seed grow. Silence is trust. It is saying, I believe so deeply in this, I don't need to share it to prove it's real. It is a form of reverence. You are building a world within, and until it is fully formed, you let no one in. The silence is the womb. It is where your creation is safe, nourished by your focus, warmed by your feeling. And when the time is right, when the manifestation is visible, there will be no need for explanation. The results will speak for themselves. Then and only then can you share if you choose. But until then, hold your vision close. Guard it with love. Speak to it in quiet moments. Let your imagination be the only audience it needs. You are not alone in the silence. The entire universe moves in stillness. The greatest transformations happen quietly. Seeds do not shout as they grow. Stars are born in silence. And your manifestation is no different. Respect the process. Stay quiet. Stay faithful. And watch as the unseen becomes seen, not through words, but through unfolding. The secret to winning the lottery or manifesting anything you deeply desire is not in the numbers, but in the consciousness. You are not here to chase results. You are here to awaken to the truth that all things begin and end in the imagination. When you dare to assume the feeling of already having it, when you detach from how it will come, when you repeat the scene until it feels like home, when you give thanks before the world gives you proof, and when you keep your vision sacred in silence, you are no longer wishing, you are creating. This is not about luck. This is about law. The inner world is the only reality, and when you change it, the outer must follow. So hold fast to your vision. Trust the unseen. Let go of the need to be understood, and instead understand the power you carry. You are not at the mercy of chance. You are the source. You are the winner, long before the results are drawn. Thank you for listening. Thank you for believing. Now go within, life from the end, and let life catch up to your imagination. It's already yours.
Ladies and gentlemen, today I stand before you to share a powerful truth. Anything you desire is within your reach. There are no limits to what you can achieve when you understand and apply certain principles that govern the universe. These principles are not mystical, they are laws. And when you align with them, you unlock the power to create your reality. Imagination is the most powerful tool we possess in shaping our lives and achieving our desires. It is the creative force that allows us to envision possibilities beyond our current circumstances. What many fail to realize is that imagination is not just idle daydreaming, it is the foundation of everything we experience in our physical world. Everything we see, every invention, every piece of art, every structure, and every life transformation began as a seed in someone's mind. Without imagination, nothing new can come into existence. It is the starting point of all creation, and understanding how to harness it is the key to unlocking the life you truly desire. When you close your eyes and allow yourself to picture your desired reality, you are engaging with a realm that is far more real than you may think. The images you create in your mind, the feelings you stir, and the scenes you vividly imagine are the blueprint of what's to come. It is in this invisible space of the mind where real transformation begins. The truth is, your outer world is a direct reflection of your inner world. If you want to change your external reality, you must first change the images you hold in your imagination. Think about every great invention or monumental achievement. Take the airplane, for instance. Before it existed in reality, it was first born in the minds of visionaries who dared to imagine something beyond the ordinary. The Wright brothers didn't just randomly stumble upon the ability to fly. They first had to imagine it. They saw themselves soaring above the ground, and they held on to that image despite countless failures and setbacks. Their persistent belief in their imagined reality eventually brought it into the physical world. This principle is not just for inventors or pioneers, it applies to every aspect of your life. Whether you want to achieve success in your career, improve your relationships, or manifest abundance, it all begins with how vividly and consistently you can imagine the life you want. Your imagination is the doorway through which all possibilities flow. What you can see in your mind's eye, you can hold in your hands. The problem many people face is that they don't realize they are already using their imagination every day, but often in negative ways. Worry, fear, and doubt are just as much products of the imagination as hope, confidence, and belief. When you worry, you are imagining a future scenario where things go wrong. You see failure in your mind, and you feel the emotions associated with it. Over time, this negative use of imagination shapes your reality, because the mind cannot distinguish between what is vividly imagined and what is real. If you constantly imagine worst-case scenarios, your life will begin to mirror those fears. The key is to take control of your imagination and use it deliberately. Instead of allowing it to run on autopilot, filled with fears and doubts, you must consciously direct it toward your desired outcomes. Close your eyes and see yourself already in possession of what you want. Imagine the joy, the peace, the fulfillment. Feel it as if it's happening now, in this very moment. The more real you can make it in your mind, the more the universe will respond to this inner picture. The beautiful truth about imagination is that it is unlimited. There are no restrictions on what you can imagine. You can travel anywhere, be anyone, and achieve anything within the realm of your mind. This boundless ability to create is what makes imagination so powerful. It is the ultimate tool for designing your life. When you learn to control it, to focus it on what you truly desire, you will find that life begins to shift in profound ways. In this process, it is important to understand that imagination is not bound by time. What you imagine now can unfold in the future. The mind does not operate in linear time, and neither does the process of creation. So even if your current reality seems far from what you are imagining, don't be discouraged. Trust the process. By consistently focusing on the desired outcome in your imagination, you are setting in motion forces that will bring it to fruition. Imagination is the foundation of everything you will ever achieve. It is the first step in transforming your life. Use it wisely, nurture it, and trust that the images you hold in your mind are the seeds of your future reality. By mastering the art of deliberate imagination, you are tapping into the creative power that lies within you, waiting to shape the world according to your deepest desires. Faith in the unseen is one of the most profound principles that governs our ability to achieve what we desire in life. It is a belief in something that has not yet materialized in the physical world, but is nonetheless real and attainable. To most, this might seem illogical. How can you believe in something that you cannot see, touch, or verify with your senses? But that is exactly where the power of faith lies. Faith transcends the need for physical evidence, and instead roots itself in the conviction that the unseen is just as real, if not more so, than the visible. This is the key to unlocking goals, dreams, and desires that currently seem out of reach. The unseen refers to anything that exists beyond the scope of the five senses. It is the realm of possibilities, potential, and creation. Everything that exists in the physical world began in the unseen. It started as an idea, a thought, a vision. Consider the tallest buildings, the fastest machines, the most innovative technologies. They all originated in someone's mind long before they became tangible objects. What bridges the gap between the idea and the manifestation is faith. Faith is the assurance that the unseen will be made visible in due time. It is not a passive hope or wishful thinking. It is an active, living belief that what you are working toward or dreaming of already exists in a higher realm, even if it is not yet apparent in your immediate surroundings. This conviction allows you to move forward with purpose, despite any temporary setbacks or doubts. When you have faith in the unseen, you are not discouraged by the lack of evidence in your present reality, because you understand that what you desire is already on its way to you. One of the greatest challenges people face is the tendency to doubt when there is no visible progress. We live in a world that conditions us to rely on what we can see and measure, but faith requires us to look beyond that. To trust in something you cannot yet see demands a shift in your mindset. You must train yourself to focus on the feeling and the certainty of the outcome, rather than on the absence of it. This shift allows you to operate from a place of inner knowing, where you are no longer at the mercy of external circumstances. Imagine a farmer who plants seeds in the soil. After planting, there is no immediate sign of growth. The ground looks the same as it did before. But the farmer does not dig up the seeds every day to check if they are growing. He knows that there is an unseen process happening beneath the surface. He waters the seeds, nurtures them, and continues to care for the soil, trusting that, in time, the plants will sprout. This is faith in the unseen. Just because he cannot see the growth at first does not mean it is not happening. Likewise, in life, when we set goals or pursue our dreams, there may be periods where nothing seems to be happening. But this is the time when faith is most crucial. You must continue to believe in your desired outcome, even when there are no visible signs of progress. The process of creation happens behind the scenes in the unseen realm and requires time and patience to unfold in the physical world. Faith sustains you during this period, allowing you to keep moving forward even when the results are not immediately evident. Faith in the unseen also teaches you to let go of the need for control. Often we become fixated on how things should happen, when they should happen, and in what manner. But faith asks us to trust that the universe, or whatever higher power you believe in, is orchestrating things perfectly behind the scenes. It reminds us that our job is not to micromanage the process, but to focus on the end result and trust that the path will reveal itself as we go. This surrender is not about giving up. It is about releasing the need to force things into being and allowing them to unfold naturally. Faith brings with it a sense of peace and confidence. When you trust in the unseen, you are no longer thrown off course by temporary difficulties or delays. You remain calm in the face of challenges, because you know that the outer world is catching up to the inner reality you have already created. This inner certainty becomes your anchor, guiding you through uncertain times with grace and assurance. Faith in the unseen is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. It is the fuel that powers your journey, the foundation that keeps you grounded, and the light that guides you forward. By cultivating this faith, you align yourself with the natural laws of creation, allowing your desires to move from the realm of the invisible to the realm of the tangible. Living in the end is one of the most powerful principles for achieving your goals and creating the life you desire. It means to mentally, emotionally, and spiritually embody the state of having already achieved your desired outcome, long before it becomes a reality in the physical world. By doing so, you align your inner world with the result you want, and in turn, this inner alignment influences your external circumstances. This principle works because the mind does not distinguish between what is vividly imagined and what is real, so by living in the end, you are effectively programming your mind and environment to bring your desired future into existence. The concept of living in the end begins with the understanding that creation happens first within you. Everything you experience in your outer world is a reflection of your inner state of being. If you want to change your life, you must first change how you think, feel, and perceive yourself. Living in the end requires you to mentally place yourself in the position of already having what you seek. Whether it's a new job, a loving relationship, financial success, or better health, you must act, think, and feel as though it is already yours. This is not pretending or wishful thinking, it is a deliberate shift in consciousness. When you live in the end, you are no longer focused on wanting or needing your goal. You have already transcended the feeling of lack or desire, because in your mind it is already accomplished. This mental state is crucial, because when you desire something intensely, you are acknowledging that you don't have it, which keeps you in a state of separation from your goal. By living in the end, you bypass the feelings of want and instead dwell in the feelings of fulfillment and satisfaction, aligning yourself with the frequency of your desired outcome. This shift in focus is what draws your goal toward you. An essential part of living in the end is cultivating the emotions that accompany the achievement of your goal. If your desire is to be successful, how would you feel if you were already successful? If you desire a loving relationship, what emotions would you experience if you were already in that relationship? These feelings, whether they are joy, peace, gratitude, or love, are the key to bridging the gap between your present reality and your desired future. By feeling these emotions in the present, you are energetically attracting the circumstances that match those feelings. One common challenge people face when trying to live in the end is the temptation to look at their current reality and get discouraged. It's easy to say, but this isn't my reality yet. I don't have what I want. However, the essence of this practice is to shift your focus away from what you see and place it firmly on what you know will be. Remember, your current reality is simply the result of your past thoughts and feelings. It does not define your future unless you allow it to. By persistently living in the end, you gradually shift the momentum of your life toward the fulfillment of your desires, regardless of what your present circumstances suggest. Living in the end also requires a certain level of trust and surrender. While it is important to maintain the vision of your desired outcome, you must also let go of the how and when it will happen. The details of how your goal will come into being are not for you to worry about. Trust that the universe or the natural flow of life will arrange the necessary circumstances to bring your desire into reality. When you live in the end, you are not trying to force things to happen, you are allowing them to unfold naturally, because you already feel as though they have occurred. Furthermore, living in the end allows you to take inspired action. When you are mentally and emotionally aligned with your goal, you will naturally start to behave in ways that support its manifestation. You will take steps that feel effortless and guided, rather than actions driven by fear or desperation. These actions will feel aligned with the future you have already envisioned, and they will bring you closer to your desired outcome. This is because your inner state is in harmony with your outer actions, creating a flow that accelerates the manifestation of your goal. Living in the end is not about ignoring reality or denying the present circumstances. It is about choosing to focus on the reality you are creating, rather than the reality you currently see. By doing so, you shift your energy and attention toward the future you want, instead of being anchored by the present conditions that may not yet reflect your desires. This shift in perspective creates a powerful momentum that eventually brings your inner vision into alignment with your outer world. Living in the end is about embodying the mental and emotional state of already having achieved your goal. By thinking, feeling, and acting as if your desire is already a reality, you align yourself with the outcome you want, and you attract the circumstances that will bring it into being. It is a practice of faith, focus, and emotional alignment that can transform your life, allowing you to experience the fulfillment of your dreams. Persistence in thought is a critical element in achieving any goal or desire. It refers to the consistent and unwavering focus on a particular idea, vision, or outcome, despite obstacles, doubts, or external circumstances. The mind is a powerful tool, capable of shaping your reality, but it requires discipline and persistence to direct it effectively. When you hold a clear and persistent focus on your desired outcome, you engage the creative forces within you to bring that vision into existence. However, this process demands more than fleeting thoughts or wishful thinking. It requires a sustained mental effort, regardless of challenges that may arise along the way. The importance of persistence in thought becomes clear when you recognize how easily the mind can become distracted or influenced by negativity. Throughout the day, your mind is bombarded by various thoughts, opinions, and sensory input. Without intentional focus, it can easily stray from your goal, latching onto doubt, fear, or frustration. Persistence is what keeps you anchored to your vision, even when your external circumstances seem to contradict it. It is the ability to continue believing in the possibility of your goal, regardless of temporary setbacks or delays. Many people give up on their dreams because they expect instant results or allow themselves to be swayed by the lack of immediate progress. They start out with enthusiasm, but as time passes without visible success, they begin to question whether their goal is achievable. This wavering in thought weakens their creative power, and soon they abandon the very vision they once held dear. Persistence in thought, however, means holding on to that vision with unwavering conviction, no matter how long it takes. It is the belief that the unseen forces are working behind the scenes, and that your mental focus is actively shaping your reality, even if the results aren't immediately visible. Consider the process of planting a seed. When you plant a seed in the ground, you don't see immediate growth. Days, weeks, or even months may pass before you see any signs of life, but you continue to water it and nurture the soil, trusting that growth is happening beneath the surface. Similarly, when you set a goal and focus your thoughts on it, the results may not appear right away. Persistence in thought is like tending to that seed, continuing to nurture your vision, knowing that growth is happening even when you cannot see it. It is this consistent mental effort that ultimately brings about the desired outcome. One of the key aspects of persistence in thought is overcoming doubt. Doubt is the enemy of persistence because it causes you to question your ability to achieve your goal. Doubt may arise from external circumstances, such as setbacks or failures, but it often originates within. Your mind may present you with reasons why your goal is impossible, or why it's taking too long. To persist in thought, you must recognize doubt as a temporary state of mind and refuse to let it derail you. This requires a strong belief in your own power to create and a deep trust in the process. Another challenge to persistence in thought is the presence of conflicting thoughts. You may hold a desire for success, for example, but if you constantly entertain thoughts of failure or fear, you are sending mixed signals to your subconscious mind. These conflicting thoughts can dilute your focus and slow down the manifestation of your goal. To be persistent in thought, you must maintain clarity and consistency in your thinking. This means regularly affirming your desired outcome and actively rejecting any thoughts that contradict it. The more consistently you can hold your focus, the faster your goal will materialize. Persistence in thought also requires patience. In today's fast-paced world, people often expect quick results. When things don't happen immediately, they become discouraged and give up. However, the process of creation is not always instant. It takes time for your thoughts and energy to align with the physical world. By remaining patient and continuing to focus on your goal, you allow the natural process of manifestation to unfold. Patience, combined with persistent focus, ensures that you stay on course, even when the journey takes longer than expected. Moreover, persistence in thought cultivates resilience. When you are able to maintain your focus despite challenges, you develop a sense of inner strength and determination. This resilience carries over into other areas of your life, making you more capable of handling adversity. So each time you persist through difficulty, you reinforce your belief in your own power to create your reality. This belief strengthens your focus and brings you closer to your desired outcome. Persistence in thought is a vital component of achieving any goal. It requires discipline, patience, and unwavering belief in your ability to create the reality you desire. By maintaining a clear and consistent focus on your goal, and by resisting doubt and negativity, you align yourself with the creative forces necessary to bring your vision into being. Just as a seed grows with consistent care, your goals will come to fruition when you nurture them with persistent thought, allowing them to manifest in their own time. Detachment from the how is an essential aspect of manifesting your desires and achieving your goals. It means releasing the need to control or dictate the specific way in which your desired outcome will unfold. While having a clear vision of what you want is important, obsessing over the details of how it will happen can create unnecessary stress, anxiety, and resistance. When you detach from the how, you open yourself up to possibilities that may be far greater or more efficient than anything you could have planned. By trusting in the natural flow of life, you allow your desires to manifest in ways that you may not have anticipated, yet are perfectly aligned with your ultimate goal. Many people get stuck in the how because they feel they need to micromanage every step of the process. This often stems from a belief that if they don't control the path, things might not work out as they hope. However, this need for control can become a source of frustration and doubt, especially when progress doesn't seem to happen according to their expectations. Detachment is not about giving up on your goal. It's about understanding that the universe, or the natural order of life, often has a more efficient, creative, or surprising way to bring about your desired result. By focusing too much on the specific means by which your goal must be achieved, you limit the potential for unexpected opportunities and solutions to present themselves. One of the keys to detaching from the how is to focus on the end result and cultivate a sense of trust. The role of your mind is to clearly define what it is you want, to feel the emotions associated with already having it, and to maintain a positive and expectant attitude. However, the specifics of how your desire will come to fruition are not for you to worry about. By trusting that the path will be revealed in time, you allow the process to unfold naturally. Trust is the bridge between desire and manifestation. It allows you to relax and release any tension or anxiety about when or how your goal will come into being. When you detach from the how, you also cultivate a sense of openness. Instead of clinging to one particular method or outcome, you remain flexible and willing to adapt to whatever path presents itself. This openness invites serendipity and synchronicity into your life. opportunities may arise that you never would have considered, or doors may open that lead you in an unexpected direction toward your goal. See, this is because when you release your tight grip on the process, you make space for the universe to work in ways that are beyond your current level of understanding. Detachment from the how also allows you to move through life with greater ease and flow. When you are overly focused on trying to figure out each step of the process, you create mental and emotional resistance. This resistance often takes the form of stress, frustration, or even burnout as you try to force things to happen in a specific way or time frame. However, when you detach from the need to control every aspect of the process, you free yourself from this burden. You can continue to take inspired action toward your goal, but without the pressure of needing everything to unfold exactly as you've envisioned. Another important aspect of detaching from the how is letting go of timelines. Often people become fixated on when their goal will manifest. They set arbitrary deadlines and become discouraged when things don't happen according to their schedule. However, the timing of your manifestation is not something you can always control. The universe operates on its own schedule, and sometimes things need to align in ways that are not immediately apparent. By letting go of the need for everything to happen in a certain time frame, you allow the process to unfold in its own perfect timing. This doesn't mean you stop working toward your goal, rather, it means that you remain patient and trusting, knowing that the timing will be right when it happens. Detachment from the how also reduces the mental clutter that can block your creativity and intuition. When you are too focused on controlling the process, your mind becomes filled with worry, fear, and endless planning. This mental noise can drown out your intuition and prevent you from recognizing opportunities that may be right in front of you. By letting go of the need to figure out every detail, you create mental space for clarity and insight to emerge. Often, the best ideas and solutions come when you least expect them, when your mind is relaxed and open. Ultimately, detachment from the how is about trusting the bigger picture. It is the understanding that life often has a way of unfolding in ways that exceed our expectations. While you may have a plan, life might have an even better one. By focusing on the end result and trusting in the process, you free yourself from the need to control every step and allow yourself to be guided toward your desired outcome. This level of trust and surrender doesn't diminish your power, it enhances it. When you let go of the how, you are allowing the universe to work with you, bringing you the opportunities, resources, and circumstances that will lead to the fulfillment of your goal in the most perfect and harmonious way possible. Gratitude for the fulfillment of desires is a transformative practice that not only enhances your emotional well-being, but also accelerates the manifestation of your goals. This principle is rooted in the understanding that gratitude acts as a powerful magnet, attracting more of what you appreciate into your life. When you express gratitude for what you have and what you desire as though it has already been fulfilled, you align yourself with the energy of abundance. This alignment opens the door for even greater blessings and opportunities to flow into your experience. Gratitude shifts your focus from lack to abundance. In our daily lives, it is easy to become fixated on what we do not have or what is not working. This mindset can lead to feelings of frustration, anxiety, and dissatisfaction. However, when you consciously choose to focus on what you are grateful for, you begin to recognize the richness that already exists in your life. This shift in perspective fosters a sense of contentment and fulfillment, regardless of your current circumstances. It reminds you that you are already surrounded by abundance and that there is much to appreciate. Practicing gratitude for fulfillment involves a proactive approach to acknowledging both your current blessings and your future desires. It requires you to cultivate a sense of appreciation for the things you wish to manifest, as if they are already part of your reality. For instance, if you desire financial abundance, you can express gratitude for the money you currently have, while also thanking the universe for the increased wealth that is on its way to you. By embodying this sense of gratitude, you send a powerful message to the universe that you are open to receiving and worthy of abundance. This practice also taps into the emotional state associated with fulfillment. When you feel grateful, you are likely to experience emotions such as joy, love, and contentment. These elevated feelings resonate at a higher frequency, which attracts more positive experiences into your life. The energy of gratitude creates a vibrational alignment with your desires, making it easier for them to manifest. It helps you cultivate a mindset that is receptive to opportunities, allowing you to notice and act upon the signs and synchronicities that guide you toward your goals. One of the key benefits of expressing gratitude for fulfillment is that it fosters resilience during challenging times. Life is filled with ups and downs, and when faced with obstacles, it can be easy to lose sight of your goals. However, gratitude serves as a stabilizing force, reminding you of the progress you have made and the blessings that surround you. In moments of difficulty, reflecting on what you are grateful for can provide the motivation and clarity needed to keep moving forward. It reinforces the belief that challenges are often temporary and that your dreams are still attainable. To integrate gratitude for fulfillment into your daily life, consider keeping a gratitude journal. Each day, take a moment to write down 3 to 5 things you are grateful for, focusing not only on what you have, but also on what you desire. Imagine that you have already received these desires and write as if they are your current reality. For example, instead of simply stating, "I am grateful for my health," you could express, "I am deeply grateful for my vibrant health and the energy that fills my life each day." This practice not only strengthens your connection to gratitude, but also reinforces your belief in the fulfillment of your desires. Another powerful way to cultivate gratitude is through visualization. Spend time each day visualizing your desires as if they have already been achieved. While doing this, evoke the feelings of gratitude and joy associated with that fulfillment. Imagine how your life will change, the people you will share it with, and the experiences you will have. This practice not only enhances your emotional connection to your goals, but also aligns your subconscious mind with the reality you wish to create. Moreover, expressing gratitude in your daily interactions can further amplify its effects. Acknowledge the contributions of others in your life, whether it's a friend, family member, or colleague. A simple thank you can go a long way in fostering positive relationships and creating a supportive environment. When you express gratitude toward others, you not only uplift them but also reinforce your own feelings of abundance and fulfillment. For fulfillment is ultimately about creating a positive feedback loop. The more you express gratitude for what you have and what you desire, the more abundance flows into your life. This practice cultivates a mindset of appreciation, allowing you to see the opportunities and blessings that surround you. It empowers you to remain optimistic and open, even in the face of challenges, and strengthens your belief in the realization of your dreams. Gratitude for the fulfillment of your desires is a powerful practice that can transform your life. By focusing on the abundance that already exists and expressing appreciation for your future desires as if they are already realized, you align yourself with the energy of manifestation. This practice enhances your emotional state, fosters resilience, and opens the door for even greater blessings to flow into your experience. As you cultivate a mindset of gratitude, you empower yourself to create the life you truly desire, filled with joy, abundance, and fulfillment. In conclusion, the journey to achieving your goals is deeply intertwined with the principles of imagination, faith, persistence, detachment, and gratitude. By harnessing the power of your thoughts and emotions, you can create a compelling vision of the life you desire and align yourself with the energies that will bring it into being. Remember that each step you take, whether it's living in the end, remaining persistent, or expressing gratitude for your fulfillment, plays a crucial role in manifesting your dreams. Trust the process, stay open to possibilities, and allow the universe to guide you on this transformative journey. Thank you for your time and attention, and I wish you all the success and fulfillment in your endeavors. Ladies and gentlemen, we often believe that peace is something to be gained, something outside ourselves waiting to be found. Yet I stand before you today to remind you that peace is not something to be achieved, but something to be realized. It's already within you, patiently waiting to be unveiled, waiting for you to clear away the debris that blocks it from flowing freely. The concept that your inner world shapes your outer reality is an age-old truth, yet often overlooked in the rush of everyday life. At the core of this idea is the understanding that our thoughts, emotions, and beliefs are not merely passive states of being, they are the creative force behind the circumstances we experience. It suggests that everything you see in your external world, from your relationships to your successes and challenges, is a direct reflection of what is happening within you. When we talk about the inner world, we are referring to the realm of your thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and expectations. This inner world operates much like a mirror. If you cultivate thoughts of abundance, love, and peace, you will find those qualities reflected back to you in your external circumstances. Conversely, if your inner dialogue is filled with negativity, fear, or doubt, you will find yourself surrounded by challenges, setbacks, and conflict. Consider the simple example of waking up in the morning and feeling stressed or anxious. You might notice that on days when you begin with negative thoughts or dread, everything seems to go wrong. You hit traffic, you argue with a colleague, or something unexpected throws off your plans. The events themselves are neutral, but your perception of them becomes colored by your inner state. It feels as though the world is working against you, when in fact, your inner world has created a lens through which everything is seen in a negative light. On the other hand, when you wake up feeling grateful, confident, and at ease, your day often unfolds in a more harmonious way. Even when challenges arise, you handle them with a calm mindset. You find solutions easily, and you attract helpful people or situations. This is the power of the inner world manifesting itself outwardly. It's not that life has no challenges, but your inner world determines how you navigate and ultimately shape your reality. One of the key principles behind this idea is that thoughts are creative. Every thought you think sends out a frequency, and this frequency attracts corresponding experiences into your life. This is often referred to as the law of attraction, but more fundamentally, it's about the way your thoughts and beliefs create the framework through which you perceive and interact with the world. If you believe that life is a struggle, your mind will unconsciously seek out situations that confirm this belief. On the contrary, if you believe that life is full of opportunities, you will find them everywhere. Changing your outer reality then requires a conscious shift in your inner world. It's easy to get caught up in the external conditions, blaming them for your discontent or frustration. But the real power lies in recognizing that it is your inner state that holds the key to transformation. If you want peace, abundance, and joy in your external world, you must first cultivate these qualities within. This is why practices such as meditation, visualization, and affirmations are so powerful. They train your mind to focus on what you want to experience, rather than what you fear or want to avoid. The process of shaping your outer reality begins with self-awareness. You must become aware of the thoughts and beliefs that dominate your mind on a daily basis. Many people operate on autopilot, allowing old patterns of fear, doubt, and limitation to guide their thinking. These mental habits create the same results over and over again, leading to frustration and the belief that change is impossible. But the truth is, by changing your inner dialogue, you change your outer reality. You are the creator of your life experience, whether you realize it or not. Every moment offers you a choice to shape your inner world in a way that serves you. By choosing thoughts of love, gratitude, and abundance, you align yourself with a reality that reflects these qualities back to you. Life doesn't happen to you, it responds to you. The moment you realize that your inner world is the architect of your reality, you step into the true power of creation. Everything you need to live a life of peace, fulfillment, and abundance is already within you, waiting to be consciously shaped and expressed outwardly. Limiting beliefs are like invisible chains that bind us, keeping us stuck in patterns of thought and behavior that prevent us from realizing our full potential. These beliefs are often deeply ingrained, passed down from family, society, or personal experiences, and they shape how we view ourselves and what we believe is possible. The trouble is, Most of us aren't even fully aware of the limiting beliefs that are guiding our lives. We accept them as truths, when in reality they are just perceptions we've picked up along the way. To live a truly fulfilled life, you must stop identifying with these limiting beliefs. One of the most common limiting beliefs is the idea that I'm not enough. This belief can manifest in various ways. I'm not smart enough, I'm not talented enough, I'm not worthy enough, and so on. When you internalize this belief, it colors everything you do. You may shy away from new opportunities, believing you're not capable, or you may settle for less in relationships, thinking you don't deserve better. The belief becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. You unconsciously create situations that confirm your belief, reinforcing the idea that you're not enough. But the truth is, these beliefs are not rooted in reality. They are rooted in fear, self-doubt, and past experiences. The first step in breaking free from limiting beliefs is recognizing them. Often, limiting beliefs hide in the background, influencing decisions without us realizing it. Pay attention to the thoughts that arise when you're faced with challenges or opportunities. Do you tell yourself, I can't do this, or this isn't for people like me? These are clues that a limiting belief is at play. Once you've identified a limiting belief, question its validity. Where did this belief come from? Is it based on actual facts, or is it something you've come to accept without examining it? Many of these beliefs are inherited. Perhaps your parents or teachers told you, either directly or indirectly, that you weren't capable in some way. Or maybe you failed at something early in life, and since then, you've carried the belief that failure is a reflection of your worth. While these experiences shape our worldview, they are not the final word on who we are or what we can achieve. You have the power to rewrite the script and let go of beliefs that no longer serve you. It's important to understand that beliefs are not set in stone, they are malleable. When you realize that your beliefs are simply thoughts you've repeated over time, you begin to see that you have the power to choose new thoughts and create new beliefs. Start by replacing limiting beliefs with empowering ones. For example, instead of saying, I'm not good enough, try saying, I am capable and deserving of success. It may feel strange at first, especially if the limiting belief has been with you for a long time, but over time the new belief will take root. The process of changing limiting beliefs requires patience and self-compassion. These beliefs have often been part of your identity for years, and it can be uncomfortable to let them go. You may even experience resistance as your mind clings to what is familiar. But remember, your beliefs are not your identity. They are simply constructs of the mind that can be altered. As you begin to detach from limiting beliefs, you'll notice a shift in how you approach life. Opportunities that once seemed out of reach will begin to feel possible. You'll take more risks, pursue your passions, and approach challenges with confidence. Breaking free from limiting beliefs also involves letting go of the need for external validation. Many of us hold on to these beliefs because they've been reinforced by others. We crave approval and avoid taking risks because we fear rejection or failure. But living a life dictated by the expectations of others only strengthens limiting beliefs. When you stop seeking validation from others and start trusting in your own worth and abilities, you break the cycle of limitation. The only thing standing between you and your highest potential is your own belief system. By identifying and releasing limiting beliefs, you create the space for new possibilities and opportunities to emerge. You are not defined by the past or by the opinions of others. The power to create your reality lies within you, and it begins by choosing to believe in your limitless potential. Stop identifying with the beliefs that hold you back, and embrace the truth that you are capable, worthy, and enough just as you are. The need to control is one of the most pervasive and deeply ingrained tendencies in human nature. We seek control over our circumstances, relationships, and even our emotions, believing that by doing so, we can guarantee our happiness, success, or security. Yet, the harder we try to control, the more elusive peace becomes. Control is an illusion, and clinging to it leads to frustration, anxiety, and disappointment. To truly experience freedom and inner peace, it is essential to surrender the need to control. At the heart of our desire to control is fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of failure, fear of not being enough. We mistakenly believe that if we can just manage every aspect of our lives, we can prevent negative outcomes. But life is unpredictable, and no matter how much effort we put into controlling things, the unexpected will always happen. By trying to micromanage life, we set ourselves up for constant disappointment. We become rigid, resistant to change, and overly focused on outcomes, often missing the beauty of the present moment. Surrendering control doesn't mean becoming passive or giving up on your desires and goals. It means letting go of the need to dictate how everything unfolds. It's about trusting that things will work out as they should, even if the path looks different from what you envisioned. When you stop trying to control every detail, you allow life to flow naturally, often bringing about outcomes far better than anything you could have planned. One of the key areas where people often struggle with control is in relationships. We want others to behave in ways that meet our expectations, and when they don't, it creates tension and conflict. But attempting to control another person's actions, thoughts, or feelings is not only futile, it's damaging to the relationship. True connection comes from accepting others as they are and recognizing that they have their own path, separate from ours. When you let go of the need to control others, you create space for authenticity, growth, and deeper connection. The same principle applies to situations and outcomes. Many people become fixated on a particular result, whether it's achieving a career goal, obtaining a certain level of wealth, or reaching a milestone in their personal lives. While having goals is important, becoming overly attached to how and when those goals manifest can lead to unnecessary stress and frustration. Life rarely moves in a straight line, and sometimes the detours are the very things that lead to greater success or fulfillment. By surrendering your need to control the outcome, you open yourself to possibilities you hadn't considered, allowing life to surprise you in positive ways. A crucial part of surrendering control is cultivating trust in yourself, in the process, and in life itself. When you trust that things will work out as they should, you can relax into the present moment rather than obsessively planning for the future. This doesn't mean you stop making efforts or setting intentions. Rather, you release the attachment to how things should happen. You do your best and then let go, trusting that whatever unfolds is in your best interest, even if it doesn't look like it at first. Another benefit of letting go of control is that it reduces anxiety. Much of our anxiety comes from worrying about things we cannot control, whether it's the behavior of others, unforeseen circumstances, or future events. When you accept that some things are beyond your control, you free yourself from the constant need to fix, manage, or anticipate every possible outcome. This shift allows you to experience life with more ease and presence, focusing your energy on what you can control: your thoughts, actions, and attitudes. Surrendering control also opens the door to inner peace. The constant need to control creates a state of inner conflict, where you are always fighting against the natural flow of life. When you release that need, you align yourself with the present moment, where true peace resides. You stop resisting what is and start embracing what could be, allowing life to unfold with more grace and harmony. Surrendering the need to control is not about giving up, it's about letting go of the illusion that you can control everything. It's about trusting life and allowing it to flow in its own perfect way. When you release the need to control, you find that life becomes more enjoyable, relationships more fulfilling, and your inner world more peaceful. You begin to understand that surrender is not a sign of weakness, but an act of great strength and wisdom. Through surrender, you step into a life of freedom, peace, and limitless possibilities. Dwelling on the past is a habit that many people find hard to break. We often revisit old memories, relive past mistakes, or cling to moments that have long since passed, believing that by doing so, we can somehow change or make sense of them. Yet, the more we fixate on the past, the more we disconnect from the present and the opportunities it holds. The habit of dwelling on what has already happened is not only unproductive, it can be emotionally draining and limit our ability to grow and move forward. One of the main reasons people dwell on the past is the feeling of unresolved pain or regret. We may replay moments where we felt wronged, embarrassed, or made decisions we now view as mistakes. The mind, in its attempt to process these events, can become stuck in a loop, replaying scenarios and questioning what if. What if I had done things differently? What if I had made a better choice? What if things had turned out another way? However, no amount of reflection can change what has already occurred. By continually going over past events, we trap ourselves in a cycle of rumination that prevents us from experiencing peace in the present. Moreover, holding on to past hurts can weigh heavily on your emotional state. Each time you relive a painful memory, your body reacts as if the event is happening all over again, flooding you with the same emotions of sadness, anger, or guilt. Over time, this can lead to chronic stress, anxiety, and even depression. Dwelling on the past keeps you tethered to negative emotions and prevents you from healing. To break free from this habit, it's crucial to recognize that the past cannot be changed. It can only be learned from and accepted. Acceptance is key to ending the habit of dwelling on the past. Acceptance does not mean condoning or excusing past events, but rather acknowledging that what happened is part of your life's journey. Every experience, whether good or bad, has contributed to who you are today. Instead of seeing past events as mistakes or missed opportunities, you can choose to see them as lessons that have shaped your understanding of life and yourself. This shift in perspective allows you to let go of the need to change the past and focus instead on how you can grow from it. Forgiveness is another essential element in letting go of the past. Whether it's forgiving yourself or others, holding on to grudges, or self-blame only prolongs your attachment to the past. By forgiving, you free yourself from the emotional burden of resentment and guilt. Forgiveness is not about forgetting or excusing wrongs, but about releasing the hold those memories have over you. It's about giving yourself permission to move on and reclaim your emotional freedom. Another way to stop dwelling on the past is to focus on the present moment. When you live fully in the present, there is little room for ruminating over what has already happened. Mindfulness practices such as meditation, deep breathing, or simply paying attention to your surroundings can help anchor you in the now. By being present, you allow yourself to experience life as it is, rather than through the lens of the past. This practice helps you appreciate what you have in the current moment and opens you up to new possibilities. It's important to create new memories and experiences that propel you forward. When we dwell on the past, we often feel stuck in a stagnant state, as if nothing will ever change. Actively seeking out new experiences, setting goals, or even engaging in creative activities can shift your focus from the past to the future. By doing this, you remind yourself that life is full of new opportunities for joy, learning, and connection. The past becomes less significant when you fill your life with meaning and purpose in the present. It's crucial to be kind to yourself in this process. Breaking the habit of dwelling on the past doesn't happen overnight, and it's normal to slip into old patterns from time to time. When this happens, resist the urge to be self-critical. Instead, gently remind yourself that you are no longer defined by the past, and that your power lies in the choices you make today. Self-compassion allows you to move forward with grace, without being weighed down by judgment or regret. Ending the habit of dwelling on the past is a transformative step toward living a more peaceful and fulfilling life. The past, with all its memories and emotions, is a part of you, but it does not have to define your present or future. By accepting what has happened, practicing forgiveness, focusing on the present, and creating new experiences, you can release the hold the past has on you. In doing so, you open yourself up to the limitless possibilities that exist in the here and now. The inner critic is that nagging voice inside your head that constantly questions your worth, abilities, and decisions. It's the part of you that magnifies your mistakes, amplifies your insecurities, and creates a narrative that can be both harsh and unrelenting. While it's natural to experience self-doubt from time to time, allowing this inner critic to dominate your thoughts can be detrimental to your mental health and overall well-being. Learning to silence this voice is essential for fostering self-compassion, confidence, and a more fulfilling life. The inner critic often stems from various influences, including childhood experiences, societal expectations, and personal insecurities. It can take many forms, such as perfectionism, comparison to others, or fear of failure. This inner dialogue may tell you that you're not smart enough, talented enough, or deserving of happiness. Such thoughts create a cycle of negativity that can lead to anxiety, low self-esteem, and even depression. The more you listen to this critical voice, the more you become trapped in a limiting mindset that prevents you from pursuing your goals and dreams. The first step in silencing the inner critic is awareness. Pay attention to your self-talk throughout the day. What messages are you sending to yourself? Are they constructive or destructive? Many people operate on autopilot, allowing negative self-talk to dictate their emotions and actions without questioning its validity. When you become aware of this inner dialogue, you can begin to challenge it. Ask yourself, is this thought true? Is it based on evidence, or is it simply a reflection of my fears and insecurities? By examining your thoughts critically, you can start to distinguish between helpful feedback and harmful criticism. Once you identify negative thoughts, it's essential to reframe them. This means replacing self-critical thoughts with more compassionate and constructive ones. For example, if your inner critic says, "I always mess things up," reframe it to, "I am learning and growing from my experiences." This shift in perspective allows you to cultivate a more supportive inner dialogue. Instead of viewing mistakes as failures, see them as opportunities for growth and learning. By reframing your thoughts, you begin to weaken the power of the inner critic. Another effective strategy for silencing the inner critic is practicing self-compassion. Self-compassion involves treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a friend. When you make a mistake or face a setback, instead of berating yourself, acknowledge that everyone experiences challenges. Speak to yourself with gentleness and understanding. Remind yourself that imperfection is a part of the human experience. Practicing self-compassion helps to counteract the negative messages from your inner critic and fosters a more positive self-image. Mindfulness is also a powerful tool in silencing the inner critic. By cultivating mindfulness, you learn to observe your thoughts without judgment. Instead of becoming entangled in the critical voice, you can recognize it as just that, a voice, not an absolute truth. Techniques such as meditation, deep breathing, and grounding exercises can help you cultivate mindfulness. When you create space between yourself and your thoughts, you begin to see them for what they are: fleeting, not definitive. This allows you to detach from the inner critic's negativity and focus on the present moment. Surrounding yourself with positive influences is another effective way to silence the inner critic. The people you spend time with can greatly impact your self-perception. Seek out those who uplift and inspire you rather than those who contribute to your self-doubt. Engaging with supportive friends or mentors can provide valuable encouragement and perspective. Their positive reinforcement can help drown out the critical voice and remind you of your strengths and capabilities. Consider keeping a journal to track your thoughts and feelings. Writing can be a powerful way to process emotions and gain clarity. Document instances when the inner critic speaks up and explore the underlying beliefs driving those thoughts. By putting your feelings on paper, you can gain insight and distance from the negativity, allowing you to develop a more balanced perspective. Remember that silencing the inner critic is an ongoing process. It takes time and practice to shift your mindset, and setbacks may occur along the way. Be patient with yourself as you navigate this journey. Celebrate small victories and recognize that progress is not always linear. The goal is not to eliminate the inner critic entirely, but to reduce its power and influence over your life. Silencing the inner critic is crucial for building self-confidence and fostering a healthier relationship with yourself. By cultivating awareness, reframing negative thoughts, practicing self-compassion, and embracing mindfulness, you can begin to diminish the critic's hold on your life. Surrounding yourself with positive influences and documenting your experiences can also support this journey. Ultimately, learning to silence the inner critic allows you to embrace your true self, pursue your passions, and live a life filled with joy and fulfillment. You are worthy of kindness, understanding, and love, especially from yourself. In a world filled with constant noise, distractions, and external demands, Many people find themselves on a relentless quest for peace. We often believe that peace can be found outside ourselves through relationships, possessions, achievements, or even through travel. However, this pursuit of external peace often leads to frustration and disillusionment. True peace is not something that can be acquired from the outside, it must be cultivated from within. Learning to stop seeking peace externally and to foster it internally is essential for achieving lasting tranquility and fulfillment. The quest for external peace often begins with the belief that happiness and serenity are contingent upon specific circumstances. We think, if I just had that job, if I could only find the right partner, or if I could take that vacation, then we would finally experience peace. This mindset places our sense of well-being in the hands of external factors that are often beyond our control. The danger in this is that circumstances are inherently transient. What brings you peace today may be fleeting, leading you to continually chase after the next thing. This cycle creates a perpetual state of dissatisfaction, as the external factors we rely on for peace can shift or vanish at any moment. To break free from this cycle, it's crucial to recognize that true peace is an internal state. It arises from a deep sense of self-acceptance, self-awareness, and inner balance. When you learn to cultivate peace within yourself, external circumstances become less significant in determining your emotional state. This doesn't mean that external situations won't affect you at all. Rather, it means that your response to those situations is no longer dictated by them. You develop resilience and equanimity, allowing you to navigate life's ups and downs with grace. One of the first steps in cultivating internal peace is mindfulness. Mindfulness involves being fully present in the moment, without judgment or distraction. It allows you to connect with your thoughts, feelings, and sensations in a non-reactive way. When you practice mindfulness, you begin to notice how often your mind wanders to the past or the future, creating unnecessary stress or anxiety. By bringing your awareness back to the present, you create a space for peace to emerge. Simple practices such as meditation, deep breathing exercises, or mindful walking can help anchor you in the here and now, enabling you to cultivate a sense of inner calm. Another essential aspect of finding peace within is letting go of the need for external validation. We often seek approval from others to feel good about ourselves, measuring our worth against their expectations. This reliance on external validation can lead to feelings of inadequacy and insecurity. To find true peace, it's important to cultivate self-acceptance. This means recognizing that you are enough just as you are, without needing to prove your worth to anyone. Embrace your uniqueness, flaws and all. When you learn to value yourself internally, the opinions of others carry far less weight, and you can experience peace regardless of external circumstances. In conclusion, the journey towards inner peace and self-acceptance is a transformative process that requires patience, practice, and a willingness to let go of external influences. By silencing the inner critic, stopping the habit of dwelling on the past, surrendering the need to control, and ceasing the search for peace outside ourselves, we can cultivate a deeper sense of fulfillment and joy. Remember, true peace resides within you, waiting to be embraced. Thank you for your attention, and may you find the strength and courage to embark on this empowering journey toward inner tranquility. Ladies and gentlemen, today we embark on a journey into the vast, uncharted territory of the mind, a place where the real work of transformation begins. Your mind, dear friends, is the most powerful tool you possess, and to develop a strong mindset, we must first understand the foundation upon which strength is built. Everything in life begins with thought. It is the invisible force that shapes our reality, the unseen architect behind our experiences. Whether we are aware of it or not, our thoughts are constantly creating our world. They influence our beliefs, direct our actions, and determine the outcomes we experience. The power of thought is immense, and understanding how to harness it is key to transforming not only our mindset but also our entire life. At the most basic level, thoughts are the foundation upon which everything else is built. Every achievement, every relationship, every challenge we face begins with a thought. If you look back on any significant event in your life, you will notice that before it manifested in the physical world, it first took shape in your mind. You imagined it, contemplated, perhaps even worried about it, and then it became your reality. This is because thoughts are like seeds. They grow and take root in our consciousness, and with enough attention and focus, they eventually manifest as circumstances in our lives. The true power of thought lies in the fact that we are in control of it. While it may seem at times that thoughts come and go at random, we are not at the mercy of our thinking. We have the ability to direct our thoughts, to focus on what we want rather than what we fear. This is the key to creating the life we desire. The mind is a powerful tool, but like any tool, it requires skill and practice to use effectively. When we become mindful of our thinking patterns, we can begin to cultivate thoughts that serve us rather than those that hinder us. It is important to recognize that thoughts are not passive. Every thought carries energy, and that energy can either be constructive or destructive. Positive, empowering thoughts create a sense of well-being, inspire action, and attract opportunities. On the other hand, negative, limiting thoughts create fear, self-doubt, and obstacles. The law of attraction, a concept that many are familiar with, is based on this very principle. Like attracts like. The thoughts we hold most consistently in our mind are the ones that shape our reality. If we consistently think about lack, limitation, or failure, we are likely to experience those very things. Conversely, if we think about abundance, success, and joy, we will begin to attract those experiences into our lives. One of the most powerful aspects of thought is its ability to shape our beliefs. Beliefs are simply thoughts that we have accepted as true. They are the mental filters through which we view the world. If we believe that life is difficult and full of struggle, then that is exactly what we will experience. Our thoughts create a self-fulfilling prophecy. This is why it is so important to be mindful of the thoughts we entertain on a daily basis. The thoughts we allow to dominate our mind will eventually crystallize into beliefs, and those beliefs will dictate our actions and outcomes. Yet, changing our thoughts is not always easy. We have often spent years, even decades, thinking in certain ways, and these patterns of thought become deeply ingrained. But with awareness and intention, we can begin to shift our thinking. It starts with recognizing the thoughts that are holding us back, the ones that are rooted in fear, doubt, or negativity. Once we become aware of these thoughts, we can begin to replace them with new, empowering ones. This requires practice, but over time our new thoughts will become our new reality. To harness the power of thought, we must become conscious creators of our mental landscape. We must choose thoughts that align with the life we want to create. This is not about ignoring challenges or pretending that difficulties do not exist. Rather, it is about shifting our focus to solutions, possibilities, and opportunities. It is about cultivating a mindset that is rooted in abundance, faith, and optimism. The power of thought is the power to create. By mastering our thoughts, we gain mastery over our lives. When we choose thoughts that uplift, inspire, and empower us, we unlock the potential to transform not only our circumstances, but also our entire experience of life. Imagination is often dismissed as mere fantasy, a whimsical escape from reality, yet it is far more powerful than we tend to acknowledge. In truth, imagination is the very foundation upon which reality is built. Everything we experience in the physical world first takes shape in the mind. It is the creative force that allows us to transcend our current circumstances and envision a different, better future. Imagination is not just an idle daydream, it is the seed of all creation. At its core, imagination is the act of forming mental images or concepts of things that are not immediately present to the senses. But what many fail to realize is that these mental images are not confined to the mind, they have a direct impact on the reality we experience. What you consistently imagine becomes your dominant focus, and what you focus on, you attract into your life. The ability to imagine is the starting point of all human achievement. Every invention, every work of art, every breakthrough in science or technology began as a figment of someone's imagination. The true power of imagination lies in its ability to transform your inner world, which in turn transforms your outer world. We live in a universe governed by laws, one of which is that your external reality mirrors your internal state. When you imagine something vividly and consistently, you begin to feel as though it is real. This feeling, this inner conviction, sends a signal to your subconscious mind, which then works to align your actions and environment with the vision you hold in your imagination. In other words, what you imagine with feeling becomes your reality over time. Imagination is not merely about creating new things, it is also a tool for reshaping your current reality. When faced with challenges or obstacles, your imagination allows you to see beyond the present difficulties and envision solutions. It allows you to mentally rehearse success before it happens. Athletes, for example, often use mental imagery to practice their performances in their minds before competing. By doing so, they program their subconscious mind to expect success, and this expectation becomes reality in the physical world. The same principle applies to all aspects of life. One of the key elements of using imagination effectively is the ability to imagine from a place of belief rather than hope. Hoping for something to happen keeps you in a state of lack, because hope implies that you are uncertain of the outcome. But when you imagine with the conviction that what you desire is already yours, you enter a state of knowing, a state where the lines between imagination and reality begin to blur. This is where true power lies, the ability to live as though your desired outcome has already manifested, even if the physical evidence has not yet caught up. Living from your imagination requires a level of mental discipline. Many people allow their imagination to run unchecked, often imagining worst-case scenarios or focusing on what they fear. This is a misuse of the creative power of the mind. Just as imagination can create positive outcomes, it can also create negative ones if it is dominated by fear, doubt, or limitation. The key is to direct your imagination deliberately, focusing on what you want to experience rather than what you wish to avoid. Another important aspect of imagination is its role in shaping your self-image. How you see yourself in your imagination is how you will behave in reality. If you imagine yourself as confident, capable, and successful, your actions will align with that image. If, on the other hand, you imagine yourself as unworthy or inadequate, you will subconsciously act in ways that reinforce that belief. The self-image you hold in your imagination is a powerful determinant of your behavior and ultimately your results. One might argue that imagination is intangible, that it has no real substance. But consider this: everything in your physical reality once existed only in someone's mind. The house you live in, the phone you use, the clothes you wear, all were first imagined by someone before they became physical objects. This is the nature of imagination. It precedes reality. What you imagine today, you will experience tomorrow. To truly harness the power of imagination, you must learn to see it as a tool for creating your reality, not just escaping from it. Imagination is not a retreat from the world, it is the very force that shapes it. By consciously directing your imagination, by living from the vision of what you desire, rather than the constraints of your current circumstances, you tap into an endless well of creative potential. When you use your imagination in this way, you will find that the reality you once only dreamed of begins to take form around you. In this sense, imagination is not separate from reality, it is the source of it. Assumptions are far more powerful than we often realize. They are the silent architects of our lives, shaping our reality without us even being fully aware of it. The concept that assumption precedes manifestation suggests that what we assume to be true, whether consciously or unconsciously, has a profound influence on what actually materializes in our lives. Our beliefs and assumptions are the lenses through which we view the world, and these perceptions directly impact the outcomes we experience. Every thought we entertain is a seed that has the potential to grow into reality, but it is our assumptions, our deeply held beliefs about what is possible and what we deserve, that determine which thoughts take root and which fall away. Assumptions are the mental habits that we return to again and again, often without questioning their validity. They create a framework for how we see ourselves, others, and the world at large. If our assumptions are rooted in limitation, lack, or fear, then our reality will reflect those limitations. Conversely, when we assume abundance, success, and possibility, we begin to attract those experiences into our lives. The power of assumption lies in its ability to influence both our conscious and subconscious minds. The subconscious, which plays a critical role in shaping our reality, does not differentiate between what is real and what is imagined. It simply accepts whatever we consistently assume to be true. Over time, these assumptions solidify into beliefs, and those beliefs guide our actions, decisions, and perceptions. In this way, our assumptions become self-fulfilling prophecies. If we assume we are capable and deserving, we act in ways that lead to success. If we assume the opposite, we create barriers to our own progress. One of the most important principles of assumption is that it precedes manifestation. This means that before we see evidence of something in our outer world, we must first assume its reality in our inner world. This is the essence of faith, not blind hope, but a deep inner conviction that what we desire is already ours. The act of assuming the fulfillment of a wish, even when there is no physical evidence to support it, creates a mental state that aligns us with the very outcome we seek. By living as though our desires are already realized, we shift our vibration and attract experiences that confirm and reinforce that assumption. This process may sound simple, but it requires a deliberate shift in mindset. Most people base their assumptions on their current circumstances. They see what is in front of them, whether it's lack, limitation, or failure, and assume that this is all there is. They allow their external world to dictate their internal state, not realizing that it is the internal state that ultimately shapes the external. To manifest something new, we must break free from the habit of letting our current reality define our future. Instead, we must learn to live from the end, to mentally place ourselves in the position of having already achieved our desired outcome. For example, if you desire success in your career, you must assume the feeling of success before any tangible success is visible. This doesn't mean simply wishing for success, it means fully embodying the mindset, emotions, and behaviors of someone who is already successful. When you carry yourself as though you have already achieved your goal, you begin to attract the people, opportunities, and resources that will make that goal a reality. In essence, you are aligning your internal state with the external result you desire, and the universe responds by bringing that result into being. However, it is important to note that assumptions are not passive. They require persistence and commitment. In the face of obstacles or delays, it can be tempting to revert to old patterns of thinking, allowing doubt to creep in. But those who master the power of assumption understand that consistency is key. Even when the outer world seems unchanged, they hold fast to their assumption of the desired outcome, trusting that manifestation is already underway. This steadfastness, this ability to remain anchored in the assumption of success, is what ultimately brings about the manifestation. Furthermore, assumptions are not limited to grand, life-changing desires. They shape every aspect of our daily lives, from our relationships to our health to our finances. If you assume that people will treat you with respect, you will unconsciously project an energy that invites respect. If you assume that your health will improve, you will be more likely to engage in behaviors that support that assumption. In every area of life, what we assume to be true becomes the foundation upon which reality is built. The principle that assumption precedes manifestation is a reminder of our creative power. We are not passive observers of life, waiting for circumstances to dictate our experience. Instead, we are active participants, shaping our reality through the assumptions we hold. When we consciously choose assumptions that align with the life we desire, we step into our true power as creators, and manifestation becomes not just a possibility, but an inevitability. Living from the end is a concept that invites you to imagine and embody the feeling of having already achieved your desired outcome, even before any physical evidence of it appears. It's about shifting your mental and emotional state from one of wanting or hoping for something to one of believing that it is already yours. By doing so, you align yourself with the reality you wish to create, allowing it to unfold naturally in your life. This principle is rooted in the idea that your inner state of being, your thoughts, beliefs, and emotions directly influences your outer reality. At its core, living from the end is about assuming the state of the wish fulfilled. This means that rather than waiting for external circumstances to change before you feel successful, fulfilled, or happy, you generate those feelings within yourself now. You begin to think, feel, and act as though your goal has already been accomplished. This shift in consciousness transforms how you interact with the world around you. It allows you to move through life with confidence and clarity, knowing that what you desire is not something you need to chase, but something you are already in possession of mentally and emotionally. For example, if you are looking to improve your financial situation in Pakistan, where economic challenges are often felt acutely, living from the end could mean that instead of focusing on the current difficulties or scarcity, you embody the mindset of someone who has already achieved financial stability. You imagine how it would feel to have financial freedom, how you would make decisions, how you would carry yourself, and what your daily routine might look like. When you mentally place yourself in that position, you start to adopt behaviors, attitudes, and opportunities that reflect that reality, regardless of your current situation. The process of living from the end requires a shift from a reactive mindset, where you allow your present circumstances to dictate your feelings and actions, to a proactive mindset, where your inner state creates your external conditions. If your current reality doesn't match your desired outcome, you don't dwell on what's lacking. Instead, you focus on cultivating the emotional and mental state that corresponds to having already achieved your goal. In doing so, you change your vibration and begin to attract circumstances that align with your new state of being. This concept can be especially powerful when applied to areas like personal growth, career advancement, or even national challenges. For instance, consider the recent developments in Pakistan's tech industry, which is beginning to flourish despite broader economic difficulties. Entrepreneurs and innovators in the country are living from the end, imagining themselves as part of a thriving tech ecosystem. Even in the face of obstacles, they are operating with a mindset that their success is inevitable, which in turn is contributing to the growth of the sector. They are not waiting for the perfect conditions to start. They are living in the mindset that Pakistan will become a hub for technology and innovation, and their actions are helping manifest that vision. Living from the end is not about ignoring reality or pretending that challenges don't exist. Rather, it's about recognizing that your internal state of mind has a powerful influence over how those challenges unfold. When you focus on the solution rather than the problem, and when you assume the feeling of your desired outcome, you begin to see opportunities and resources that were previously hidden. You move with purpose and conviction, and others respond to that energy. In this way, living from the end becomes a powerful tool for navigating not only personal challenges, but also larger societal ones. To fully embrace this approach, you must also practice patience and persistence. Manifesting your desires through living from the end does not mean results will come instantly. There may be moments of doubt or periods where it seems like nothing is changing. But just as the seed takes time to grow after it is planted, your desires will take time to materialize in the physical world. The key is to remain steadfast in your mental and emotional state, continually returning to the feeling of your wish fulfilled, even when external conditions suggest otherwise. In a country like Pakistan, where uncertainty can sometimes cloud the path forward, living from the end offers a powerful way to stay grounded and focused on a brighter future. Whether you are working toward personal goals or contributing to the development of your community, living from the end allows you to maintain a clear vision of success, even when the road is difficult. By embodying the feelings and mindset of someone who has already achieved their dreams, you not only transform your own life but also contribute to the collective growth and progress of the society around you. Living from the end is about taking control of your inner world and using it to shape your outer world. When you can imagine yourself in possession of your desires and live as though they are already a reality, you unlock the creative power of your mind. Persisting beyond appearances is a practice that requires faith, discipline, and a deep understanding of the power of the mind. It is about maintaining your vision, your focus, and your belief in your desired outcome, even when external circumstances seem to contradict it. Most people allow the world they see to dictate their thoughts, emotions, and actions. They look at their current situation, see lack or failure, and assume that this is all there is. However, to truly manifest change, one must persist beyond these appearances and hold fast to the inner vision of what they wish to create. The external world is constantly shifting and can often present situations that appear contrary to our goals or desires. Whether it's a financial challenge, a difficult relationship, or an unforeseen setback, these circumstances can easily shake our confidence if we are too focused on them. Persisting beyond appearances means recognizing that what we see in the physical world is not the ultimate reality. It is simply a reflection of past thoughts, beliefs, and assumptions. If you allow yourself to get caught up in appearances, you lose sight of the creative power that lies within you. At its core, this practice is about understanding that reality is shaped not by external conditions but by your internal state. Everything you experience in the physical world is a result of your dominant thoughts and beliefs. Therefore, when appearances seem negative or contrary to what you want, they should not be taken as fixed or final. Instead, they are temporary manifestations that can be transformed by changing your inner state. The key is to persist in the belief that what you desire is already yours, regardless of what the outer world currently reflects. One of the most common obstacles to persisting beyond appearances is doubt. When you face challenges that seem insurmountable, it is natural to question whether your efforts are worthwhile. In these moments, it is crucial to remember that doubt is simply a reflection of the mind's attachment to what is seen, not what is possible. The greater your ability to hold on to the vision of your desired outcome, the more you can transcend doubt and maintain faith in the unseen. It is the ability to believe in something before it manifests that separates those who achieve their dreams from those who remain bound by their current circumstances. Persisting beyond appearances also requires resilience. There will inevitably be moments when progress seems slow or non-existent. But during these times, it is essential to remind yourself that change is often happening beneath the surface, even if you cannot yet see it. Just as a seed takes time to grow into a tree, the seeds of your thoughts and beliefs are working in unseen ways to bring about your desired outcome. It is your job to nurture these seeds with patience, faith, and unwavering persistence. The moment you allow doubt or frustration to take over, you risk uprooting the very progress you have been making. This approach can be applied to any area of life. Consider someone striving for success in their career. Early failures, lack of recognition, or missed opportunities might seem to suggest that success is out of reach. However, if that person remains focused on their vision, continually believing in their ability to succeed despite these setbacks, they are more likely to create the conditions for success. Their persistence beyond appearances keeps them aligned with the reality they want to create, even when the outer world has yet to catch up. Another example might be found in personal relationships. Sometimes healing a damaged relationship can seem impossible when conflict or misunderstanding appears too deep to resolve. But if you persist in believing in the possibility of harmony and approach the situation with patience and love, the outer circumstances may gradually shift to reflect the inner peace you have cultivated. Instead of reacting to the immediate appearance of discord, you remain focused on the desired outcome, understanding, forgiveness, and connection. What makes persisting beyond appearances so powerful is that it frees you from being a passive observer of life, merely reacting to circumstances. Instead, you become an active creator of your reality. You are no longer swayed by the ebb and flow of external events, because you understand that these events are not the source of your power. Your true power lies in your ability to shape your inner world, which in turn transforms the outer world. This practice requires discipline, especially in a world where we are constantly bombarded with distractions and negative influences. It demands that you take control of your thoughts and remain focused on your desired outcome, even when everything around you seems to suggest otherwise. But with practice, persisting beyond appearances becomes second nature. and you begin to see the tangible results of your inner work. Persisting beyond appearances is about cultivating an unshakable belief in your creative power. It is about trusting that what you hold in your mind and heart is more real than the temporary conditions of the external world. When you persist in this belief, you unlock the potential to manifest anything you desire, no matter how unlikely it may seem in the present moment. Mental discipline and focus are two of the most powerful tools we possess for creating the life we desire. In a world full of distractions, noise, and constant demands for our attention, mastering the art of focus and maintaining mental discipline are essential to achieving any significant goal. Without them, even the most brilliant ideas and well-laid plans can quickly become scattered, unfocused, and ultimately unfulfilled. Mental discipline and focus enable us to direct our thoughts, energy, and actions in a way that aligns with our desires, allowing us to navigate life's challenges with clarity and purpose. Mental discipline starts with the ability to control one's thoughts. Many people live at the mercy of their minds, allowing their thoughts to drift from one thing to another without direction or purpose. The undisciplined mind is reactive, jumping from worry to doubt, from hope to fear, often driven by external circumstances rather than internal intention. Mental discipline, however, requires taking conscious control of your thoughts, choosing what to focus on, and not allowing distractions or negative patterns to derail you. This is where focus comes into play. Focus is the ability to concentrate your attention on a specific task, goal, or vision for an extended period without allowing external stimuli or internal doubts to pull you off course. Focused attention magnifies the power of your efforts. When you concentrate fully on a task or goal, you engage more deeply with it, making you more productive and effective. More importantly, focus helps you filter out irrelevant or distracting information, allowing you to hone in on what truly matters. The synergy of mental discipline and focus is what turns mere wishful thinking into concrete action. For instance, if you have a goal to improve your health, you must discipline your mind to think consistently about the end result, what it feels like to be healthy, the habits you need to cultivate, and the changes you need to make. Without discipline, your thoughts might constantly drift to the temptations of unhealthy habits, or you might easily get discouraged by setbacks. Focus helps you stay on track by allowing you to give full attention to the actions and steps necessary to achieve your goal, rather than being distracted by short-term cravings or challenges. Mental discipline is not about suppressing or ignoring negative thoughts or emotions, but about being aware of them and choosing not to let them control you. It's about cultivating the ability to observe your thoughts without getting caught up in them. This practice, often referred to as mindfulness, can be incredibly empowering. When you are able to step back from your thoughts and emotions, you create space between yourself and your reactions. This space gives you the opportunity to respond intentionally rather than react impulsively, which is crucial in maintaining focus on your long-term goals. Focus also demands that you prioritize your energy and attention. We live in an era of information overload, with endless stimuli coming from social media, news, and various forms of entertainment. If you are not deliberate about where you place your attention, it's easy to become overwhelmed and distracted. Mental discipline helps you recognize what deserves your attention and what doesn't. By cutting out unnecessary distractions, you can devote your full energy to the things that align with your goals, leading to greater progress and success. In conclusion, the principles of mental discipline, focus, persistence beyond appearances, and living from the end all emphasize the power we hold within our minds to shape our reality. Our thoughts, beliefs, and assumptions create the framework for the world we experience, and by mastering these internal processes, we unlock the potential to manifest our deepest desires. Whether it's through cultivating focus, holding fast to our vision despite challenges, or living as if our goals are already achieved, we become active creators of our destiny. By persistently aligning our inner state with the outcomes we seek, we transform both ourselves and the world around us. Thank you. Thank you.